Hello, and thank you so much for taking the time out to listen. Today, I titled this message, The Impact of Laziness on the Family. The Impact of Laziness on the Family. There are areas that are affected as a result of people not being proactive in parenting, in creating wealth, in making sure that the household is clean and organized, in getting simply things done concerning the family, like doctor's appointments, dentist appointments, school-related activities, and moving or relocating. Laziness has impacted families to the point where people have separated, divorced, children have moved on with their lives, and they are not connecting with their mothers and fathers, or maybe even their siblings any longer. Laziness started off where it was just people sitting around, watching television, playing video games, doing any number of projects where these projects didn't involve anyone else but self. Initially, laziness, no biggie, right? Everybody has their lazy day, their lazy moment. A period of rest is what the Bible would call. But then there's 6 days of work. There's 6 days of work. There's 6 days of schooling or extracurricular activities. There's a lot that goes on through the week. But when there is that one or many that I don't feel like, I don't feel like going here. I don't feel like doing this. That wasn't my plan. When a lot of that is going on in a family, the family begins to break down. And not only that, the elders or adults in the family that are doing this sort of thing are teaching the younger generation to put off, sit back, relax for 8 to 12 hours a day in front of a device, and only get up to go to the bathroom. Some won't even go in the kitchen and make a meal for themselves because laziness has taken shape, molded them, put all sorts of undesire to do anything within them. No, I don't have any desire. I just want to just do me. You just want to do you. Well, you do know that there's a house that needs to be cleaned. There's laundry that needs to be done. There's organizing that should have been done in your room a long time ago. And we also got some things that we need to purge. There's an upcoming move. There are some appointments that we need to tend to. What's your plan? What's my plan? My plan is to relax. My plan is to sit on my behind for hours on end. God sees this sort of thing, and God is answering prayers in this hour concerning laziness. So you didn't just happen to come across this message. This message speaks to you who are simply frustrated with the lazy members of your family. You've got to stay on people's back about getting a job. You got to stay on people's back about keeping a job. You got to stay on people's back about making their contribution to the household. Enough is enough, says the person who's frustrated. Lord, when are you going to intervene? I don't want to be the one that when the consequences show up, I've got to help this person clean up their mess. And it would have never been this way had they just made the phone call, had they just went out and did the right thing, had they not been the type of person that just wanted to sit on their behind all day. Come on. Laziness has caused all sorts of health ailments with some folks. If you are not up and moving and watching what you eat, doing more in one day than eating and all sorts of leisurely activities, then you don't have to be concerned about all those health ailments hitting you. But we got some folks who the health ailments are hitting them because they simply don't want to do anything but sit and sit and sit some more. So their minds are weak, their bodies are weak, and they want, I guess, some weak people to show up and get them out of their mess. But it's not going to happen. There are those who You were sitting down and relaxing when you should have been taking care of your responsibilities. And so when issues take place, those who have rightfully earned their rest are not going to be around to get you out of your mess. Okay? I know for some folks, I got to make this plain. So you go through something and you're going to call people wanting them to help you. And they're going to say, I'm busy, or I can't do it, or whatever the case may be. Because see, during your time of laziness, when you should have been getting some things done, you chose not to do it. Some folks will make excuses for their laziness and say that, no, I was busy that day, or I had this to do or that to do. Meanwhile, no, you weren't. The truth of the matter was that you were watching the television longer than you should have been watching it. You were on that cell phone longer than you should have. You were out there relaxing and stuffing your face instead of taking care of your responsibilities. God sees all, let me tell you. And there's been times where many years back, when I was younger, I took my time doing some things because I preferred to read my book, or I preferred to listen to my music when I should have been up taking care of my responsibilities. And so next thing you know, you're getting a letter in the mail, or somebody's knocking on your door. All that time that you could have been taking care of your business and you chose not to. Some folks, they run away from responsibilities by hiding behind their phones, by having their time to play games for hours and hours on end. And so it literally takes somebody showing up, somebody cussing, somebody threatening to beat them, for them to finally go, oh, okay, all right. And you're getting all upset for what? When you should have taken care of your responsibilities rather than procrastinate, rather than be the lazy one who's just making up excuses so that you get out of things. Other people do work for you. Other people will go here and there for you, but you will spend many, many hours once again being the lazy one. Now, I know that you doesn't necessarily refer to some of those who listen to me on NM Enterprise 7, but you refers to those individuals who you're going to pass this audio on to the lazy folks, and they're going to be offended and they're going to thumbs down, because that's what they do when they don't want to admit the truth. The truth is that, yes, I wouldn't have gone through my various health ailments had I been doing what the doctor told me. And this was back when I was pregnant with two of my sons. The doctor told me to watch my portion sizes and to be more active. And I decided, no, I'm not going to do that. And so the weight was increasing. I was eating more than being mobile. So it took dietitians to be strict with me, firm, and tell me, okay, I understand that you don't care about you, your body, but you need to be concerned about the baby inside your body. And see, when you don't have people around you that are motivating, when you don't have people that are saying, you know what, we need to work together on this thing. You see, when you don't have the type of tools around you, you will sit back and just go, you know what? I'm going to just do me. Yeah, and one of my children could have very well died doing me, being lazy, you see. But thank God for God, because those dietitians, they put some fire under my butt. And the next thing you know, I was walking my butt around the community. So I'm giving some folk a bit of a pep talk, because I don't want to see you end up losing out on your family behind laziness. There's a woman who needs to be hugged, to be kissed, to be talked to. And that man prefers to look at his screen and look at his cell phone and do anything and everything not to be involved in that woman's life. There is a child that is going to end up being punished because, once again, he or she wants to, technically put, be lazy. right? And we got some folks who they are missing out on opportunities because they're too lazy to put resumes into these various organizations. They're too lazy to get up off the couch and go to the interview. We've got some people who they've got pest issues in their homes because they're too lazy to sweep the floor, to mop the floor, to put things away, to get dishes cleaned, to take the trash out. Laziness pops up in so many different ways. Some people will experience laziness because they weren't active prior to a tragedy. And so now that when I shouldn't say now, but when the tragedy takes place, it's only going to make them more lazy because they're going to be depressed. You see, so already got issues with laziness. And then when the major situation shows up in the family, they're only going to become lazier. So the Lord actually opens up a door because he sees the future. He opens up a door for folks to walk out of because he knows what's coming around the corner. And to keep you from getting into some type of verbal battle with somebody, or lose out on much money, or lose out even on sleep behind worrying over folks. He finds a way for you to move on about your life because you've already been down that path before. When so-and-so wasn't working, he or she was lazy. When mom or dad or whoever died, he or she was lazy. It took a long time for this person to become active again because they had health ailments, and a lot of the health ailments was due to obesity, and the obesity was due to not wanting to get the necessary help. So you see how laziness just shows up, doesn't it? It shows up in the family, and people aren't doing what they're supposed to. And so what was somebody's fight in the last relationship concerning laziness, now that lazy man or lazy woman is in a new relationship, and that burden has showed up in that relationship. And now the person that they're with is like, you know what? This is crazy. I don't want to be with a person like this. I'm a hard worker, been a hard worker all my life. I gotta go. What makes this even worse is when lazy people will defend laziness. They may have, let's say, took care of some business, at home or at the workplace or whatever, and now they're going into this lazy streak, and they notice that there are those that are around him or her that are relaxing, right? Resting, but they're really being lazy because there's things that they're supposed to do. Like, for instance, with children. Children are supposed to do homework. Children are supposed to take care of themselves. Children are supposed to, handle responsibilities in the household like chores. But that one who has a lazy spirit is going to defend the children's lack of performance. They're going to find excuses for the laziness. And God, he sees, and this is why we give all of this over to the one true God. There's no sense in arguing with a lazy person. There's no sense in, trying to steamroll over their conversation as to why, once again, they are trying to get children out of doing some things, or they're trying to get out of doing some things. We got a lot of folks who frown on moving. I saw a skit not that long ago where there was this, I believe it was Peel, on this like goofy show. But anyway, he is trying to get out of moving. And so he tells the girlfriend, I think we need some time to be apart, and I got to find myself and all of that. And that was because that weekend she wanted him to help move. Okay. We got folks that will go to the extreme, even though it was funny and it was made up. But we do have folks who will go to the extreme to get out of doing things because they just want to sit. So, oh no, I got plans. Oh no, I can't help you. Oh, this was short notice. Oh, why are you doing this to me? Oh, you always coming up with something to inconvenience me. Laziness. That's laziness speaking. because once you sit back and you look at what they're really doing nothing. Or some will suddenly have a whole bunch of stuff to do because they know that they don't want to look like they're a liar. And the truth of the matter is that not only are we dealing with laziness, but we're also dealing with selfishness as well. So you learn from these lazy people in the sense that you don't be available to them. You encourage them to do their own things, such as they need to cook for themselves. They need to clean up after themselves. They need to organize their own things. They need to set up their own fun activities rather than you. And so many women will do this in families rather than you coming up with all these things a family should do. And then you start getting upset because the husband or the sons or whoever or the daughters are not helping you out. Okay. Lazy people need to fend for themselves, okay? And you who are so frustrated and you feel like you are literally losing your mind behind all of what is going on concerning laziness, you're going to have to reevaluate whether or not you want to stay in a household with people who are like this. So may the Lord richly bless you, as well as those that you love. Continue to fight the good fight. Those of you who are of faith, pray for those who are just not being proactive in the family. And if it is God's will, He will free you. If that's what you really want, He will free you, and you will live the kind of life that is free of this laziness that goes on within the family. So thank you for listening. Continue to just watch other or listen to other audio video. You've been listening to YouTube Enterprise 7. Feel free to like, subscribe, comment. We also welcome giving on this channel. Blessings to you.